Hey, I'm Zombie Joey. I am a tattoo artist. I've been tattooing for just about 8 years, and I am the owner of Headless Horseman Tattoo in Brantford, Ontario. To be honest, I had gone to school for animation and graphic design. After finishing school for that, I was having a hard time finding jobs that I was really enjoying doing, so I went back to work just in retail. And while I was doing that, I had people coming up to me all the time saying, hey, you have an art degree. Can you draw my next tattoo? And I would do it, and I would draw their tattoo, and I would just do it for fun. And by the time they came back and showed me the tattoo, it was something completely different, and I really wondered why so many changes were made, why they couldn't just take my drawing and just tattoo that, you know what I mean? So in that case, I started looking into how to design a tattoo properly, and then from there it just snowballed and I got really into it, and now 8 years later. So when I first started into this, I was really looking at guys like Josh Woods. To me, he's one of the better new school tattoo artists. He gave me a lot of advice when I was first starting out, which was really nice of him. He was also a year later, he started on the first season of Ink Master, so that was kind of cool. So I got to see him evolve on there as well. It was always a goal to have my own shop, like in the long run, but I really didn't plan it as soon as it happened. I'd say the variables were a lot of moving around, working at different shops, and just kind of figuring out what I wanted out of this career. I enjoy the freedom. I enjoy that I get to draw and do what I love for a living. Like, it's not any stress that comes along with it isn't really a big stress because I'm already doing what I want to do. I get to meet a lot of cool people. I get to hear interesting stories. I get to see some of the coolest tattoos. I get to see really cool artwork. There's so many interesting people in this field, and it just branches off into other things like heavier body mods and stuff like that. It's so interesting to see and learn about that stuff too. There's not a whole lot I can complain about this job. I mean, there's a lot of drugs and alcohol that get intermingled into this career, but I think that's with anything. But I think that gets predominantly bad in this field. I've seen and worked alongside some people that have definitely gotten themselves into some trouble in those ways. It really affects the artwork you're putting on somebody permanently, so I think that's the biggest negative thing. I love tattooing flowers because there's so many different options and they're so colorful, and then animals, you can literally do anything with them. You can put them in clothes, you can put them on rocket ships, whatever you want to do. And that's why I gravitate towards new schools, because unlike realism, your imagination can kind of take it wherever you want to go. And I mean, you can do that with realism too, because you can push boundaries with art, but I mean, most of the time people, when they're going for realism, they want photorealism from a portrait, where I like to do a little more expressive stuff with imagery, so if that makes any sense. Big, bold, cartoony images with a lot of color and definition. It's hard because that's such an umbrella term, new school, because it's anything that is taken from an old traditional tattoo and just updated in a more new style. There's so many different variables of new school though. You see stuff that verges incredibly on the edge of realism, and then you've got stuff that is so close to like a traditional cartoony tattoo that it's such an umbrella term. The flash is just, I don't know, there's silly little ideas I get that I think would be cool for a tattoo. So they're usually something I would put on myself, and I don't know, I just put it out there and see if anyone else thinks the same or likes the image, you know what I mean? I really enjoy a lot of what I do. There's so many pieces I've done that I really enjoyed doing, but I don't think anything really stands out to me and says, like, this is my best work right here, and this is definitively the best thing I've ever done, or I'm most proud of this. Every tattoo I do, I really appreciate what I get to do. It's like any other job or any other career or whatever you want to do, you just really have to want to do it. I think anybody could learn how to do it, because I've met so many different tattoo artists where some of them they're in this game because they really enjoy making artwork and they really enjoy, making people feel good about their bodies, while there's other guys that are in this strictly just to make money. Like, they don't care about art forms and techniques and stuff like that. So Yeah, literally anybody could do it, but I guess it's the reason you're doing it. If you're looking to get an apprenticeship, get tattooed by somebody that you really appreciate their artwork and hang out, get to know them. Don't just go into the shop and be like, hey, can I have a job? It doesn't work like that. Like, it's a very personal one-on-one kind of learning process. It takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of dedication, and it's a lot of sacrifice too. So you have to make sure that you're ready to do that. You don't make a lot of money in the beginning, so it is a lot of struggle, but if you love the craft, it's definitely worth it, 100%. I fell in love with the craft of tattooing, so I looked more into it, and then that was my choice for career. I started tattooing my hands right away, so that way I knew it was a solid decision.
What was your first tattoo?